Over to you guys.
Okay, so I'll start. One of the questions I had, like, just to start the discussion was, in the book, how easy, it was easy for him once he found out that she was, like, malfunctioning, for him to just up and leave her. So, like, what does that say? Like, you could relate that to, like, consumer society today, like, when something is, defected or whatever, people tend to throw it away. So, like, how does, like, that relate to, Titus? Like, what does that tell you about his character, that he's able to throw, like, just because he found out that she was malfunctioning or whatever, he just up and left her? And then, like, what does that tell you about, like, the type of person that he is, and what establishes him from, his group of friends? Like, how does he compare his friends to, so his question. Anybody else?
You think you can relate it to today's society?
I think one of the key words in feed is like fashion. So many people are following the fashion. So if they found out something is defective or not functioning, they will basically throw it away. But this person, Titus, was like willing to observe like what is happening to that girl. So I think it showed somehow the difference between he and the other people in this novel.
And I mean, like, he did, when he found out that she was, like, not working properly, whatever, he left her, but then at the end of the book, he comes back, and he's, like, sitting there with her while she's all, like, so that does kind of tell you that he did care about her, and, like, he, like, today's society where, like, if it's technology or something, we just, if it doesn't work, we just throw it away. And it showed that he, even though he felt like that, like, he felt, it's waste of his time because she's not, like, working properly, and he just couldn't handle that. Like, it still showed at the end of the book that he really did care, because he went back even though he wasn't on good terms with her when she was malfunctioning. So he went back and it showed that, like, he had some kind of heart.
I think you can relate it to today's society, like in terms of relationships. Like after he found out that she is sick, like in today you could say like she was sick or something, and like he really still cared about her. And I think there are like more examples of that. Like for example, his dad, when he comes to the hospital, he's so busy because he's a businessman. So even though they all have like feeds and are super smart now, but they still have the same troubles as we do. Doesn't change it much in relationships, I guess. I don't know if you agree.
I noticed on the language used there are only 4 words, right? I think sometimes it simplifies our like daily language once we got a feed and the advertisements all the time. So it's kind of like people become more ruthless and not caring other people's feelings. But I think the Violet and Titus are exception for that. So they have show some types of emotion, not emotional, like not completely overwhelmed by the ads and fashions.
And then, like, back to what I was talking about, we were talking about how he showed, like, his emotion or whatever. When he first found out, like, that she was malfunctioning, like, he wouldn't even respond to her messages. He wouldn't, he wouldn't even read, like, the things that she wanted to do before, like, without the feed. So it kind of showed that, like, he was kind of getting rid of her already, and it just like showed me that it can be related to how, like, today when we, like I said, when we like have something that doesn't work, we throw it away. I understand when you're talking about the language.
Yeah, I want to say something. Like, this book is a different opinion about how people can communicate. It's like, so if one people communicate, like, by if they implant some electronic thing in their mind, like in their brain, they can communicate easily, right? Than us. It's like instantly. So that increase their, increase the opportunities of their communication. That's good, right? But all the information they got is from same source, like programmed by some companies or like the school or something. So it's like from same source, like so. Even though they have more communication, like it doesn't increase any diversity.
Yeah.
But in this world, like in our real society, like the opinion is from different source, different people. So when different people, like from different source, communicate, like Korean, Chinese, whatever. So they have more opinions. They produce more ideas. So it's like totally different. I think you write this book is want to say something about how people communicate.
Yeah, and it shows that like, it shows like similarity. Like that company wanted them all to have that same feed to be the same. Like that was their like main, like reason to have the feed. They wanted them to be like the same person. And it does show like it doesn't show diversity like you said. Like it limits them because they all have the same thing, so they're all getting the same information, and it creates a world that's similar. Like people are. Like they all have the instant message thing where they instant message each other, and like it's like, well, what's different about you? You're like the same as your friend. Like you have the same, you're getting the same updates and news feeds and all that stuff from your feed. Like what makes you different from the person that's next to you? Like, so it does. I agree with you.
To me, like having the feeds, it will raise the idea of controlling them. Like I feel like just because they have the same feed, like the corporation, what makes it, is trying just to control. And I can relate it to the paper we're writing right now. So like how media can like affect us and like
Yeah, I think I forgot the name of the movie, but it was Tom Cruise movie. I think it's about the same idea. Like if you take some pills and you don't have emotion anymore, it's like whole entire of human society. Like people don't have emotion except the president. So it's like, it's like same thing. But Tom Cruise finally he find out like we need emotion and stop taking pills and kill the president or something like that. But the basic idea is like they don't have emotions. So it's like if the school or if the company keep updating them, like the communication and all the sources like kill their emotions. You know what I'm saying?
But
Wait.
can we actually say that they don't have emotion? Because we can say
'Cause I
they
think-
have similar informations, and they are based on all the same structures of the society. But we can assume that they have same emotion, or
I don't-
they limited.
I don't think it's not that they don't have emotion. I think it's more that
They're so.
I think they do have emotion
Yeah.
because Titus likes Violet. So you can't say that they don't have emotion because obviously this whole book is about him liking her and so I don't agree with that, but I do think that they do have emotion, and it's just the way that they show their emotion. Like how does Titus's love definition of love and like differ from Violet's? It's just a difference between them.
And at one point I noticed that the consumers and the producer's role is to make the whole society and emotions homogeneous, like every individual the same. And according to do that, they according to their demographic, they made a suitable for products for every consumer, almost according to their hate, their like at the beginning. But at the end, in the long run, it will become no one has a particular characteristics about their specifically or something around the same.
No, but actually, if you read it, the feed, what they get was actually based on what they were thinking and their mood. And it was not everyone gets the same feed. It's targeted for certain people, and the company has a database of the people's characteristics and what they like, so they